You're listening to Popcorn and Politics. What's the real deal? Hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney. Asking the hard-hitting questions you want answers to from political leaders and political hopefuls from around the world.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Popcorn and Politics. I'm your girl, Audrey Bell Kearney. Today is Sunday. What's today? October the 17th. Listen, this is my new show. This is what I think the second episode, maybe. Yeah, I think this is the second episode. No, this is the third episode of Popcorn and Politics. So I'm happy to be here with you today. I've just been trying to figure out how I want this to be. And it was kind of funny because I was talking to my husband. I was like, I think it needs to be more than just me interviewing political candidates. I want to talk about real news. Like I want to talk about what's happening in politics around the world, not just here in Georgia, not just here in Gwinnett County, but around the world. So that's what I just kind of been thinking about what I wanted to do. And I wanted to, I said, I want to talk about real news. But anyway, today I'm talking about, because I read this story and I thought it was pretty interesting. So I read this story, and the story was about, the Loganville mayor who actually, he's taking some heat from one of the residents in Loganville. And, it was because he said, so he sent an email and the resident thought that, it was like, it was uncalled for and unprofessional. And so my question was, do you think the Loganville mayor, do you think he went too far? So if you read the article, if you go to AJC or you go to, I think it's Gwinnett Daily Post, you'll see the article. In the article, it was saying that the mayor had taken a picture with this gentleman's daughter, and he sent the message saying, hey, I met your daughter, took a picture with her. And the father was like, that's kind of weird. Like, you're sending us messages about taking pictures with a daughter. And I'm paraphrasing, so you got to read the whole article. And so he sent a message saying, that's a little bit weird that that you're taking a picture with my daughter, and you're reaching out to us, and that's a little bit weird. And so the mayor said, well, I do this all the time. It's like, why is it an issue? And he was like, he felt some kind of way about that. But then the mayor turned around and said something like, you're 40 something years old, you got your hat turned backwards, grow up, right? And that was the part, like, first of all, it is kind of weird if you, like, I took a picture with my daughter and he reached out to me and said, I took a picture with your daughter. I don't know if that was weird. Now, if he had just reached out to the daughter, I would have kind of felt like that was weird. But if he reached out to the parent saying, I met your daughter, I took a picture with her, blah, 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 then that was okay. But if he had just reached out to the daughter saying, hey, it was great taking a picture with you, I would have felt like that was kind of weird. I would have, and I ain't gonna even lie. But I think the part that got me was the part where he actually, and I think I got a guest trying to come in, but their camera, your device is not set up to come in. So if you're trying to get in, because I want to know your side of it, like what your thoughts are. The part that got me was when he said you're 40 something years old, you got your hat turned backwards, grow up. I felt like that was a little bit like unprofessional. Like, for me, had that been me, I probably would have said something like, oh, I didn't mean to weird you out. I just want to acknowledge that I took a picture with your daughter. I would have left it like right there. And so when he went a little bit further than that, I felt like that could have been like, well, that was like unnecessary in my opinion. But I want to know what you guys' opinions are, because here's my thought, right? This is my thought. As an elected official, the people voted you in, there is a certain type of professionality, and I don't even know if that's a word, but that you have to hold yourself up to, right? Like, I don't feel like you could be. Now, we know we had an administration last year that said whatever it wanted to say, do whatever it wanted to do, disrespect whomever that person wanted to disrespect. That's, and I found that so unprofessional, right? Some people thought, oh, that was cool. I found that to be very unprofessional. And I never agree with anybody who, you're in a political, you're a political leader. And I feel like you should be held to a higher, standard than, the regular Joe Blow on the street. So when you start talking like that to the people that voted you in, that means you have no respect for me. That's how I feel. That's my thought. That means that, if I said something to my mayor and they said something, I felt like, that's one thing to be petty. It's one thing to be petty. It's one thing to just try to find something wrong with everything. But it's totally something different if I voice my opinion and then you come back and you try to, embarrass me, or you try to talk down to me. Like, I voted for you. Oh, I got a problem with that. So I have a real problem with that. So, in my opinion, the mayor could have just said, no harm. I was just letting you know that I met your daughter. That's what I would have done. Not come back and say you got your hat turned backwards. You're 40 something years old. Grow up. To me, that was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. But he won't be the mayor. He's stepping down. He's not running for re-election because he's running for a higher seat. Now, here's the thing: the same people that put you in the seat as a mayor may have to put you in the seat as whatever seat he's running for. And I forgot which one it was, but now you need that person's vote, right? And so will they vote you in or will they vote you out? That's because here's the thing: we hold power at the polls. I'm just saying, we hold power when we go to the polls. And I think that a lot of times, I don't know. I was able to connect here. Okay, good. Like, as long as you're connected, you're good. I don't know what happened, but the you should be fine. I hope everything's fine. But anyway, so we are live streaming on American One Radio, which is cool. So this show is being broadcast live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, um, Roku, and American One Radio. So we're broadcast live across the platforms, and so always trying to. Okay, you're live. Good. So American One, y'all got to check out American One. They are a progressive radio station here in the Metro Atlanta area, looking for providing you with some good information when it comes to politics. That's why Popcorn and Politics is proud to be on that network as well, and making sure that we share stuff that people care about around the world. The one thing I can tell you for a fact is that we are all connected. I don't care what part of the world you're in, we're all connected. So when something happens in the north, it happens in the south too. It affects us all, which is crazy. You wouldn't think that, but it does. Think about all of the things that's happened with our economy. When economies in China fall, things happen in the United States, right? China is doing bad. We can't get certain things. Like they were talking about, there are some ships on the dock somewhere and they won't be unloaded until next year. And people need, I forgot what it was, but people need what's on those ships. But because it took a long time to get them in, there's no people working. It's crazy. We're all connected. So when I do this show, I'm talking about global politics. One of the places I'm truly interested in and making sure we got guys know about is Africa. So my friend Travis is going to be joining me to talk about what's happening in Africa. He is from Liberia. He is located in the States, and he's been in politics for a very long time. He ran for president of Liberia, and we have been working together for years. I'm talking about probably 15 years we've been working together. So he's going to bring us the perspective when it comes to Africa. My good friend Derek J. Wilson, who is running for the insurance commissioner here in the state of Georgia, is going to be my co-host as well. So he'll be joining me next week. So I'm excited about that. Just want to bring you a show that not only just gives you the fluff and gives you all the promises from the politicians, but real news. Like, do you think that the mayor went too far? Like, did he? Like, in my opinion, he did. That's my opinion, though. I don't know. I wasn't a part of the conversation, but I know what I saw and what I read. And so to me, I would have just left it like it was. I would have just said, you know what? At the end of the day, this is what you did. I met your daughter. I took a picture. I'm sorry if you felt it was weird, and moved on, because that's what you do. You don't snap back at the people that vote for you. I'm just saying, and this election is coming quickly. We got a November election coming up. I don't know if you guys heard about the two people last week who got in trouble for actually, shredding up ballots. Like why would you do that? Like, now you're going to jail because that's a federal offense. Why would you shred up ballots? I don't understand that kind of stuff. Like why? Here's the thing. If someone doesn't want to vote for you, that means they don't like what you're saying. It's that simple. So you can't even deal with the fact that they're not voting for you because they just don't like your message. They don't like what you stand for. So you're going to try to make them vote for you. Then you're going to try to win the fight because you're going to cut ballots, steal ballots, block ballots. I think that's nuts. But that's where we are. That's where we are. And I don't know if you guys heard this, but it's a rumor that Donald Trump is running for presidency again in 2024. Lord help us all. And I know some people I love him. Listen, I don't like he was one of those people that I felt like he said what he wanted to say no matter what. He hurt people's feelings. He embarrassed people. He was, to me, that type of stuff. We don't need that type of stuff because those are the type of things that divide us, right? And so when you think that you can just say anything and do anything, that means you have no respect for the people that put you in office. That's my opinion. I know some people would beg to differ. I get it. I know they would, but that type of disrespect to the people that put you in office, to me, should not be. And so even though I know the mayor probably felt like, I mean, I ain't doing any harm, it was the after part of what you said, like the part where you talking about grow up, like that was uncalled for. And I feel like when our elected officials start putting that kind of disrespect out there, then everybody feel like they can do it. But here's where we hold the power. You don't have to vote that person in. Like, you have the power. If the power is in the stroke of the pen or the push of the button, when you go to the polls, if you don't like what they stand for, if you feel like you're not important, if you feel like you've been disrespected, vote for the person you feel like has your back. That's how I feel about that. And I feel like the minute we started letting people just get away with saying whatever they wanted to say and doing all the crazy stuff they were doing, everybody just jumped on board and said, you know what? If he did it, I could do it too. If he said it, I could say it too. That's my thoughts. And those are my thoughts. And I know I could be totally, they're my thoughts. And you may have different thoughts. You may have thought that, that the resident was being picky, or he was just trying to start problems, but he felt disrespected. His name was Mr. Peoples. He felt disrespected, and so he felt weirded because, the mayor reached out to him and his daughter. I get the whole. I took a picture with your daughter. I can see that, but the rest of it I don't see. So that's where I'm going with this show. Those are the things I want to talk about. Real stuff, like what's the real deal. I know, and it's so funny because I've talked to plenty of politicians, right? And they all have the same promise: we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. And then you get to the polls, you vote, and then none of those things happen, or only some of them happen, because their promises may be good, but it takes more than their promise to make things happen. That's what I do know. And so I was like, I need to do a show that's gonna really empower and educate the listener and the viewers. I need to do a show where you can really understand what's going on. I really need to do a show that's going to educate you about politics and where we stand as a people, right? And so that's why, Popcorn and Politics, this is my third episode. I'm excited to bring you more episodes. Yes, I'm going to have some stuff on here that people don't like. Yes, I am. I'm going to have guests on here that you probably don't like. Yep, because I want to hear what they got to say. I'm going to talk about things that are uneasy to talk about. I am. Black justice, uneasy for a lot of people. But I'm going to talk about those things. Here's why: because they're important. And a lot of times what we see is political. I'm going to talk about those things. And it's going to be tough for some people to hear. It's going to be tough for some people to swallow. Everybody's not going to agree with me. Heck, everybody's not going to even like me. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Because my goal is to get to the truth. Ruth, that's my goal. My goal is to empower and educate our community. That's the goal. My goal is to bring on people who can explain some of the things that we don't understand. Like, I'm looking forward to trying to get AOC on here so she can help us really understand what the Green New Deal is. Because when you listen to the commercials, the Green New Deal is like, oh my God, it's the Green New Deal. And it has nothing to do with the Green New Deal, because if you did some research on what that meant jobs. That means jobs and better resources for us as a people. But because her name is attached, it's like a bad thing. And that's crazy, because it's going to help 98% of the people, because the other 2% don't need us. Well, heck, the other 5% don't need it, but the 95% that do don't even know why they don't want her to, why they don't want the Green New Deal in there. I want to know what that is and talk about it. I want people to understand, like, listen, you're voting against things that could actually help you, because based on how your parents voted, based on how you grew up. And let me just say this. I know that some people will never be able to change their minds, and I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to educate and inform. Some people are locked into what they believe, and there's nothing you can do, no matter how sane it sounds. There's going to be nothing you can do to change their mind and their views, and I'm not even trying to do that. I am trying to resonate with the ones who understands, and they're not so locked in, but they're like, well, my grandfather voted this way, that's why I'm voting this way. Or, my grandmother voted this way, that's why I'm voting. My father said this. No, I want you to look at your family and say, okay, my family's struggling right now. We don't have internet where we live, right? We don't have clean jobs where we live. I'm talking to that person. I need you to look at this show and say, okay, I need to make an informed decision for myself, because my family is affected. When I look at politics, I look at how it affects my family, right? Now, it just so happened that the things that affect my family, which is in the 95%, right, we lean this way. That's how it happens. But just know if it's the other way and it was going to help my family, like I could see the real value in what you're doing, I would have no problem voting that way. It's just that they don't lean that way. We lean blue, we don't lean red. That's because I'm in the 95%, and that's where I am. Prayerfully one day I can get to the 2%, the 1%, right? But my mindset is still going to be 95% because that's what my heart is. My heart is with the 95%. That's why I do this show, because I need you to understand that I'm out here trying to get the best information for you so you can make informed decisions as an American citizen, as a global citizen when it's time for you to vote people in. And that's for the people that have fair elections. A lot of places don't have fair elections. They don't. Heck, we struggling to have a fair election right in the United States. We're struggling with that. That's a struggle. You wouldn't think so in this day and time, but it's a struggle. And so, that's what popcorn and politics are about. So if this is your first time seeing it, I got my opinion. You have yours. I invite you to click the link and come in. Come on in. I'm going to put the link out there every week, every Sunday at 1:00. The link is in my Facebook. I'm going to put it on Instagram. Click the link. I'll invite you in so you can share your opinions. It's okay. You're going to be on video, so just know that. Don't click the link if you don't want to be on video, or if you do want to come in and don't want to be on video and you just want to be on audio, then let me know. We'll just put you on audio. All right. So just make sure you understand that this is a globally syndicated show, and you're on somebody's TV right now near Roku. So just understand that. But if you have an opinion about something and you want to come in and talk about it, then come in and talk about it. You may differ from my opinion. Like I have my opinion about the mayor of Loganville, and you may have yours. And I'm sure this won't be the last time I talk about him, because he is not running for re-election in Loganville. He will be running for a state seat, I think it is. And so it won't be the last time I talk about him. It won't be the last time I talk about a lot of the politicians that you're going to hear and meet on here and see on here. If you go back to last week's episode, I talked to Antonio Hicks. He's running for Representative Hank Johnson's seat. And I said, do you think he's committing political suicide? Because Hank Johnson has been in that seat for a very long time. And there have been people that said to him, don't run against him, which means I'm not going to support you if you do. That's pretty much what that means. I'm sure I can't support you if you run against him because I support him. And he's like, I'm running anyway because I feel like there's things that have not been addressed here in my community, his community. And he said, I'm tired of it. If there has been things that have not been corrected in 21 years, and if somebody's been in space for at least 14 of those years and you still have the same problem, well, you might want to do something about that. I'm just saying. Derek was running for insurance commissioner because he said, the people we have in office right now are just not doing a good job. There was a young guy who got killed on an elevator. That elevator hadn't been inspected since 2019 or 20. Elevators are supposed to be they're supposed to be evaluated annually. So they had not been inspected. It's supposed to be inspected annually. They have not. So when you see a problem, you got people that step up to the plate. So listen, I don't like that. That elevator being inspected may have saved that young man's life, but because it was not inspected annually like it was supposed to, he passed away. So, and I'm not saying that's the contributing factor, but I'm just saying it could have been something that could have been caught had it been inspected when it was supposed to be inspected. It was 18 months past due being inspected. It was 18 months past due. So you got people out there who are fighting the good fight. But, what I understand and what I know for a fact is that once they get into office, it's a lot more red tape to cut through, even though they're in their office, than we think about, because we put them in place and say, listen, I want to make sure that I got education for my kids, and it needs to be this way and this way. And they go, yes. Right. And then they get in there and it's like, oh, I can't do that. I mean, I know I said yes, but I can't. Because I have to go through this step, and this step, and I'm getting opposition on this side, and this side. So you need to understand that. So that's my goal. My goal is for you to understand how the political system works, not just I got to go vote. But why are you voting? Are you voting because you understand what you're voting for? Are you voting because that's the way your parents, your aunts, everybody voted? Are you voting because you just hate the party that the opposition stands for? Go against. Like, why are you voting? And then you got some people say, I'm not voting at all because it's stupid. And I understand why you feel that way, because they make promises that they don't keep. Here's the thing. If you have an issue, whether they keep your promise or not, if you don't put the right person in place, you are guaranteed not to have that promise kept. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You may have a chance if you put the right person in office, but if you don't vote at all, you run the risk of never having your the thing that you care about put in place. You run that risk. So those are the type of things you can look forward to talking, hearing about here on the show. Of course, I'm going to have guests, but I'm going to be talking about real issues, getting to the real truth about real things that matter to all of us, and invite you into the show. Like every week, there will be a link. You can click that link and come directly into the show and voice your opinion. Now, listen, don't come up here acting like a fool. If you want to come in up here and slinging slurs and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna boot you off the show. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. You're gonna get booted. Now I'm giving you a floor to come up here and share your opinion. But if you come up in here acting crazy, you're getting a boot. I'm just letting you know that ahead of time. So don't waste your time coming in here talking crazy. And I know I'm taking a risk by making that link live to the public. I am. But I feel like we can't, our people, the leaders won't get to know what you think about things if we don't let them talk about it. I know that there are a lot of people on Facebook right now, millions right now. Somebody is not happy with their political leaders. Invite you in and come in. If we're talking about a topic that pertains to you and your community, come in. But come in. Don't come in talking crazy because I'm gonna boot you. I'm just letting you know. So that's all I got for you today. I'll be back again next week. Derek is going to be joining me, and then probably Travis may be joining me as well. I have to see where he is. He is about to go to Liberia and set up some businesses over there. So I'm excited about that. He did a little bit about him, and I'll let him talk about himself next week. But he and I met some years ago. We were both living in New Jersey at the time. He was in the political scene, very heavy there. He was a campaign manager for a couple of politicians. I want to say it was 2008, maybe 2009, 8 or 9. He was a political campaign for a gentleman who was running for president in Liberia. That gentleman came to visit in the United States for Thanksgiving. He got killed in a car crash, and Travis came to me. He said, "Do you think I should run?" Because I helped him build the platform that he was running on. I was like, "Go for it," and I became the media liaison for him running that campaign between the Liberians in the United States and Liberians in Liberia. And so I had also before that helped him write a book and self-publish his book. And he took that book and the principles that he had written in that book, and he took that to Liberia. And those are the principles that he ran on. One of the things we had been talking about for years was me going there building a women business center on land that he owns in Liberia. And so that was one of the things I was going to do in 2010, but my mom got breast cancer, so I pumped the brakes on that. And then in 2012, I was going again. I was on my way, and she got it again, and I pumped the brakes again. So to me, that was a sign that it was just not the time. So he's very politically motivated to help people live their best life and have the best resources. But he's also very dedicated to bridging to put doing business without borders. So he has some great things he's working on, and he's going to come on here and talk about how to do business in Africa. Understand the political climate there in Liberia. And because that's something. If you want to do business without borders, you need to understand how to do that. So my goal is to bring those type of people on the show so you'll understand this is how we do business in Chile. You may want to do business in Chile. How does that work? You may want to do business in St. Vincent, but you need to know how that works because all governments are different. But if you don't understand the government, it's hard to get through. We were in Bahamas not last year, but year before last, and their chamber of commerce. I wanted to go live in the Bahamas just to partner with their chamber of commerce, which was very progressive. I'm talking about super uber duper progressive. And I was like, wow, they were helping their chamber members get these $1 million deals. These are small businesses, and they were flying to Europe and helping them land these $1 billion deals for their chamber members. And I was like, what? Had never heard of that. So, but you need to understand what that looks like. We need to understand how people do business in other areas. And a lot of that stuff is cutting through political red tape so you can do that. So these are the type of things you can look forward to on Popcorn and Politics. I want to make sure you know what the real deal is so you can make informed decisions about your family, your community, your business, and your life. I'll be back again next week with another great episode, and I will have my co-host joining me, so I'm excited about that. I won't be talking about myself, but at least you got a chance to hear a little bit about what we're going to be doing. You got to taste a little bit about how the show is going to be structured, and make sure to listen in on American One Radio. Also, you can go to the Noise Media Facebook page. You can go to Noise Media LinkedIn page. You can go to the Noise Media YouTube page. And if you have Roku, you can go to Noise Media Network on your Roku and add the app to your device so you never miss a live show of this show. All of the shows are streamed on Roku. All my shows, Good Morning Gwinnett, all of them. Well, not Good Morning Gwinnett right now because we're just on audio, but all the rest of them, Popcorn and Politics, Built Together, Talk Business with Audrey will be streaming on there. The Cannabispreneur show is going to be streaming on there. So you'll be able to get all of these shows across all of these platforms. But right now, today, American One Radio, be sure to check them out. I'm not the only one on the radio station, so go over there. You can listen to more. If you like politics, it's politics 24/7 over there, baby. You like politics, you want to get a different sound effect. You don't have to just listen to me. Go to American Radio 1 and get all of the politics. Not just me. It's more than just me there. But I'm there too. All right. So listen, that's all I got for you. I'll be back again next Sunday at 1 p.m. Until next time, my friends, stay politically connected and politically corrected. Until then, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.
You've been listening to Popcorn in Politics. What's the Real Deal? Hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your family and friends. To support the show, visit us on the web at www.popcorninpolitics.com. Download the app from the App Store and connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Popcorn in Politics.